Hello and welcome to another episode of the HT Physio Quick Tips series. My name is Harlow and I'm the lead over-50s specialist physiotherapist in HT Physio, Farnham, Surrey. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about something very, very important. And that is how can over-50s keep their bones strong? Now, I'm not sure if you've heard of the term osteoporosis, but what osteoporosis means is basically a thinning of the bones in your body that makes fractures more likely. So it makes the bones more brittle than they're designed to be. Now, the problem with osteoporosis, which is a very, very common problem, by the way, is that if you happen to fall and you have osteoporosis, you're at a much higher risk of breaking something. Now, if you're over 50 and you break something, takes a lot longer to recover than someone who's, say, 25 or 26 years old, okay? So the rehab process can be uncomfortable, it can take longer than you want it to take, and it can be an all-round negative experience because you end up having to take a lot of time off doing what you love, you end up with ongoing pain and stiffness sometimes, and all of the trips to hospital, and you just don't need it. So the best thing to do is to keep those bones strong, so you can prevent osteoporosis and limit the risk of a fracture. Now, I've got 3 techniques for you today as to how to keep your bones strong. Each one of these is equally important. Now, I'm going to start with number 1. And number 1 is the most simple, okay? And the first tip I've got for you is to keep walking. When you walk, what happens is your body recognizes the fact that you're weight bearing through your limbs. And if you're weight bearing through your limbs, what your body effectively does is it says, we really need these limbs to be strong, otherwise they're not going to be able to cope with the demands that this person's placing on them, okay? Now, if you flip that on its head and you decided that you were just going to have a couple of weeks off where you would just sit in your chair at home, watch TV and do nothing else, your body would be looking at the bones in your limbs and say, oh, great, we don't need these anymore, all right? We'll start to take some of the tissue away. Now, this might sound unbelievable, but you do actually lose a significant amount of bone mass just from having longer than a few days of bed rest. So it doesn't take very long for your body to start to take away the bone that you're not using. By walking and doing plenty of walks each week, you're signaling to your body that you still need these bones to be strong, and your body will comply and it will keep laying down new bone and keep those bones healthy. The second tip I've got for you, and this is one that is slightly outside of my field of expertise, is to make sure your diet is effective at keeping your bones strong. Now, one of the main things that helps to keep your bones strong is to have calcium in your diet. Now, you can get calcium from meat and you can get calcium from dairy. If you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you can also get calcium from nuts too. Something else that's quite important for your bone health is zinc, and the other thing is magnesium. So both of these nutrients can be found with a well-balanced, varied diet. If you tend to be low on these nutrients, you can get them through supplement form as well. But be careful to choose a high-quality supplement and always check with your doctor first. Now, the third tip I've got for you for keeping your bones strong is actually the most important one, and that is everyone over the age of 50 should consider taking up some form of light resistance training. Now, I don't mean you need to go to your local gym and start lifting huge weights overhead. Nothing like that. Something as simple as just practicing getting into and out of a chair several times a day, making sure you're keeping that control all the way through the motion, is enough to, again, send a signal down to your limbs so that your body knows it still needs strong bones. The research shows that people who do take part in resistance training, whether that be through bands or weights or just body weight stuff like getting up and out of a chair, they tend to have much stronger bones than people that don't do any of that stuff. So those are my 3 top tips for keeping your bones healthy. I do actually have an entire chapter about this in my book. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and you can get it from Amazon. Just search Thriving Beyond 50 and you'll find it. The chapter has a few more tips for how to keep your bones nice and strong to prevent fractures from a fall. So I hope that helps, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. If you have any questions or anything you'd like me to cover in these videos, just drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next week.